The first time I heard the song, I thought it was the wind. It drifted through the trees like smoke, thin and sweet, too delicate to be human, too haunting to ignore. I was 17 then, living with my aunt in a crumbling saltbox house on the outskirts of Neddick Cove, a pocket of Maine that looked perpetually wet and gray, as if it had never fully dried. After my mother died, that house with its sagging porch and its briny drafts became mine by inheritance. A fact I loathed more with each wave that slapped the rocks below the cliffside. The house had windows that looked out over the sea, and when the tide pulled out just right, you could see the jagged rocks beneath the surface, black teeth waiting to snap. My aunt, Ellen, was already in her 60s and spoke with the kind of breathy hush reserved for prayers or warnings. She told me never to go near the water after dark, never to look too long at the coastline, never to answer if I heard singing. Everyone in Neddick knew about the sea women. They didn't call them mermaids. That would have made them quaint, safe. No, the locals called them the sisters. No one said what they really were, what they wanted, only that they were beautiful in the way fire is beautiful. You don't stare long, you don't touch, and you sure as hell don't let them talk to you. I laughed the first time I heard the warning. I was beautiful then. I don't say that with pride. It was just a fact. Cheekbones sharp enough to cut, long dark hair that curled in the humidity, eyes pale enough to look silver if the light hit them just right. I'd won a few local pageants back home. Ellen looked at me with dismay and muttered prayers at my reflection. "They'll see you," she said once. "They always see the pretty ones first." I thought it was superstition. Until the first night I heard the song. It came soft through the open window, just past 2 a.m. The room smelled of salt and old wood. I was lying in bed, wide awake, heart thrumming from a dream I couldn't remember. The song slipped in like a breeze, high, longing, delicate. I sat up. The room felt colder. I looked out, and on the rocks far below, something moved. There were 3 of them. They sat on the jagged stone like it was nothing, backs straight, hair wet and gleaming silver in the moonlight. Their limbs were too long, their necks too slender, their movements too synchronized. But they were beautiful, not in the way humans are, in the way that deep space is beautiful, unknown, impossible, deadly. I couldn't see faces from that distance. Not really, but I knew they were looking at me. They stopped singing. A single one raised her hand and tilted her head. I slammed the window shut. I don't know why. My skin prickled, and I could taste something metallic on my tongue. I lay awake the rest of the night, listening to the silence. The next morning, I told Aunt Ellen. She paled. "Did you answer them?" "What do you mean?" "Did you move your lips? Did you hum back? Did you look at them?" I hesitated. I just looked for a second. She closed her eyes. "God help you." From then on, the song came more often, always just for me, never when Ellen was awake. Sometimes it was low and mournful, like a lullaby sung underwater. Sometimes it was bright, taunting, seductive. The third time it came, it was accompanied by a presence. Just a feeling at first, like being watched. I never saw them again from the window, but I began to notice things. One morning, I found seaweed in my sheets. My dreams turned vivid, always of water, always of voices just beyond hearing, always of them. I'd wake up with sand between my fingers, my hair damp, and always, that smell of salt and decay lingering in the corners of the room. Aunt Ellen started burning sage. She'd mutter prayers and hang dried herbs above my door. "They want you," she whispered one afternoon, clutching my wrist hard enough to bruise. "They don't just sing for anyone. They want what you have." "I'm not going near them," I protested. "It doesn't matter. They can come to you now." I tried to rationalize it, tell myself I was imagining things, that the dreams were stress, that the seaweed was a trick of the wind, that the footsteps I heard at night outside my door, wet and slow, were water in the pipes. But one night, I made the mistake of answering them. It was barely a hum. I was half asleep. The song came again, so gentle, so sad, I found myself humming the melody without thinking. The next morning, there were scratches on the inside of my window. Not claw marks, not fingernails, but long, graceful etchings, like someone had traced a message in the glass with a sharp nail. The marks formed no words, but they spiraled outward in a pattern that made my head ache if I stared too long. That was the day Aunt Ellen begged me to cut my hair. "They like it long," she said. "They like it dark. You look like them when they were human." I didn't want to believe they had ever been human. But she told me what no one else had. The sisters weren't born from the sea. They were made. They were once lovely, mortal girls, stolen by the sea one by one, lured by beauty, by song, by a longing to belong to something bigger. When the waves pull you under and you answer the call, something happens. You shed your skin, your soul, your memory. But even in their new forms, the sisters crave what they've lost: youth, beauty, fresh skin. "They need the beautiful ones," Ellen whispered. "They can't keep their looks forever. The sea corrodes even them. So they lure the young, the lovely, the vain. They don't eat you. They take you. And when they're done, there's nothing left but a hollow, smiling face, too perfect to touch." I didn't believe her until Lydia went missing. Lydia was the preacher's daughter, slightly older than me, with golden hair and a voice like honey. Everyone adored her. She disappeared during a morning swim. No signs of struggle. Her towel neatly folded on the rocks. Her necklace, always worn around her throat, lying in the tide pool. They found her body 4 days later, floating near the cove. Only it wasn't her. She looked wrong. Bloated, yes, but that wasn't it. Her face was too beautiful, as if someone had tried to recreate her from memory and failed. Her skin chalk white and smooth, her cheeks too symmetrical, her smile too wide, her eyes empty, not dead, vacant, like she had been scooped out and her hair was gone. From that moment on, I knew it was real. I stopped going outside, boarded up the windows. Ellen sang louder than the sea now, trying to drown them out. But they found new ways in. One night, I found a puddle on the floor, seawater, glittering, slick with something oily. It led from the front door to my bed. Another night, I woke to pressure on my chest. I couldn't move, couldn't scream. I saw a face above mine, half submerged, as if seen through rippling glass. Her eyes were silver, her lips black with brine. "You're almost ready," she whispered. The next morning, I cut my hair. I hacked it short, uneven, nearly to the scalp. Threw the strands into the fire. I covered all the mirrors. Begged Ellen to take me away, but she just stared at me with pity. "You're already marked," she said. "They won't stop now." And they didn't. They changed tactics. They came in dreams, but more vivid. I'd wake soaked, my skin cracking with salt. Once, I woke on the porch, barefoot, seaweed tangled in my fingers, the sound of water retreating into the trees. Then came the final night. I don't remember going to bed. I only remember waking, not in my room, but on the cliff's edge. The moon high, the tide full. The song louder than ever, surrounding me, inside me. My feet moved on their own. I saw them waiting in the surf. Dozens now, not 3. All of them identical, yet different. A patchwork of stolen faces. Pale skin, shining eyes. Hair torn from other girls, mismatched and wild. They were mouthing words I couldn't hear, but I knew what they meant. Give in. Let go. Be beautiful forever. I would have stepped forward. I know I would. But Ellen's voice broke through the song behind me. No! She grabbed me, pulled me back so hard we both fell. And for a moment, the spell broke. I screamed. They screamed back. An awful guttural shriek that shattered something inside me. Then they vanished into the sea, like smoke. In the morning, Ellen was gone. They never found her body, just her nightgown hung on the porch rail, soaked and smelling of salt. I left Neddick the next day, cut ties, changed my name, tried to forget. But sometimes, I still hear the singing. When I'm near water, when the moon is high, when I'm alone. And when I look into the mirror, I see their features beginning to shape my own. Because here's what Ellen never told me. Once they choose you, it doesn't end. They don't need to take you whole. Sometimes, they just take pieces